show, Russ on Flowers. I'm your host, Russ. It's fall, and so we're going to be talking about fall flowers, and we are going to be using a pumpkin to decorate today. It's really easy. Do it yourself at home. Russ Wholesale Flowers. We have a number of flowers here. We brought out the Flower Buddy again today because we've been getting a lot of questions online about the Flower Buddy, so we're going to go through and use this again for all you guys that are not schooled in flower arranging. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that. We have a bunch of greens here, eucalyptus, we have wax flower, this is baby blue eucalyptus, some wax flower, some leather leaf, there's salal here, a number of different fillers, wax flower, and great question, it's dyed, and it looks like it's dyed Saladego. And we have mums, a couple different kinds of buttons, and our rovers. Okay, you guys are familiar with the Flower Buddy kits from a previous show, and if you're not, they come with all this stuff included, which is a measuring, kind of a yardstick cut line. They have the impression boards, and most importantly are your directions. Okay, and it comes with a block of foam. And it comes with a tray. We're not going to use the tray. I'm going to show you how to use it without using a tray, and then you can apply it to anything you want. Bowls, pumpkins, sleighs for the holidays. So it basically tells you on this direction how many flowers you need. Primary stems and your secondary stems. It also goes into showing you there's two types of arrangement that comes in Flower Buddies. One's a round arrangement with recipe, and the other one, I also have this fall-autumn thing that you could use in a basket, which is kind of what we're doing today. Then they have the triangular. We're not doing the triangular. We are doing, look, there's a sleigh. We're going to be doing the round, but we're going to be doing it in a pumpkin. Okay. Very simple. We have our oasis. We've dunked. Okay, I cut it down to fit inside the pumpkin. Now the pumpkin can hold water. You guys don't need to go out of your way to get any type of container to put in here to hold the water, because the pumpkin should be fine. Alright, I cut like maybe 3 inches off this, right? And so this green, according to the directions, is for the round arrangement. Okay, there's two sides. You have your 4s and you have your E's, you have your F's and you have your 5s. Okay, the one with the most impressions on it goes on top. Stick it on top, press it down. Notice I'm not using any tape to hold this in, because it goes, meaning hold this, the oasis, inside the pumpkin, because it's pretty deep and I don't think it's going to fall out. It's a heavy piece. Okay, so the F5s, I'm going to lift this up a little bit. I'm going to put the impressions on the side where these go. 1, oh boy, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so we're set. Now, typically when you're working with foam, you want to sink your flowers all the way to the base. I shouldn't say that, back up. When you're working with vasing and no foam, you want to sink the flowers all the way to the base, because that's where your water source is. Okay, when it starts to drain, it drains from the top and it goes down to the bottom. So it'll be the last. This will be the last area that you're going to lose your hydration. But when you're working with foam, it's a little bit different. It's kind of the same concept, but if you're going to sink all your stems at the bottom of the foam, it's going to break in half. You're going to just dissolve this piece, and you're going to have to order a whole nother Flower Buddy. You're going to have to go to Hobby Lobby to get some pieces. So I would sink it down a few inches, definitely a few inches. This will, once this is totally hydrated, the oasis is totally hydrated, it will continue to absorb water and stay completely hydrated. Okay. So we're going to do a couple different things. Because we have 3 rovers, we're going to be doing, and we have 5 pieces here, we're going to kind of substitute. We're going to show you that it's not necessary to follow the instructions, but if you have different flowers, as long as you lay them out and you know what you're going to be using for your primary and secondaries and your fillers, you should be fine. And so I'm a big rover guy. They're big, they're full, and they should be a primary flower. All right. Now with this, typically, you know, when you're designing, it's 1.5 times the size. You don't want to do 1.5 times the size of this pumpkin as far as height goes, because if it's going to be in a centerpiece, you really don't want to have to talk over this piece the whole time. So We're going to sink that down in there as our first, and we're going to go and we're going to stick these in on a slant, okay? We're going to stick them in on a slant and follow it all the way around, okay? Now there's 3 of your E's, all right, and they're kind of slanted off to the side. And what I'm going to do is what's cool about using the rounds with mums is mums come with like a number of different heads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use just like one that has like 3 or 4 on there. Bring it in on a slant, right? Go off to the side. There's 4 here too. Okay, so that's completed your E's. Okay? Now you have your 4s. There's only 3 of those. So what I thought I'd do is use a different color. Break these off. Cut them. You want to keep your leaves out of the foam as much as you can. This is a really small one. I don't want to use that. You have your 4s there, right? There's a 4. You just mix it up, right? However you want to do it. Mix it up. So you see we have a lot of room to move here. You're going to do hills and valleys with your design as well. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these other heads, I'm going to put it around the base, but I'm going to come real close in, or a lot closer in than I had. So you have your F's, right? That was a bad shot, jeez. I want to kind of tilt them down. You find some of the bigger heads and pull them off the stems so you can make some of these. I've destroyed this bunch, but you go off to the side. Same with your F's. Kind of go down with that. Tear that a little bit. All right. So as you can see, we've covered all of our spots. Okay. And what we didn't do a really great job at for the show is we didn't use our board. Because I've done this a few times, I kind of blew right past it, didn't even think about it. So anyway, when you're looking at the board, you're supposed to, when you're cutting for something like this, you're going to be using your 4s and your E's, which I showed you the impressions, and this is the length, right? And so I'm right there with the row for the tops and the sides, and then for the 5s and the F's, which are on the sides, that's where these are placed. So you have a round arrangement. So that's, sorry, we didn't do that. But right now, we're going to fill in with some of the fillers. This wax flower, we're going to start filling in all the way around until we have our mechanics, which is our oasis, completely covered. Okay, and so we're going to do that. And then lastly, I'm going to add some greens. A few stints here and there. I'm not a big green guy if I have flowers and I have color. And then I'll just pop in some greens just to finish it off and cover the mechanics. Typically, that's what greens are for. I'm not a huge green guy, as you guys know. So I'm going to do that, and we're going to have a finished piece here in about 2 minutes. Our piece here, oasis, 3 bunches of mums. Can you believe that? 3 bunches of mums. That's it. That's what it took to fill up this pumpkin, and a couple different bunches of filler, and you have a couple different kinds of greens. And actually, we only used 2 stems of the baby blue and a couple stems of the salal and the baker's fern, right? So thanks, fall arrangement. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next time.